let's come in. How about here? Hello. Hello, everyone. It's me. Hello. It's me. It's Joey. Welcome. 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 Gonna have a little SAT party tonight. Are you here for the SAT party? I certainly am. Let's see. Oh, all of my buttons broke today. I forgot. So I need to push buttons myself here. How about I push that button? All right. So, hey, everybody. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. I'm Joey. I tutor around here. It's great to see you. So, I started this website called everyonelovesmath.com. And we do math here. That's what we do. We do math live. I'm excited. You're excited. Let's go. So let's talk about what this is. So this is intended to be a free live show. There is an SAT on Saturday, and it came to my attention that maybe I could help people get ready for it. So what I'm gonna do is I've got a bunch of stuff set up. All right, so I've got this right here. This is a whiteboard. All right, so we're gonna be able to do important things here. Okay. So we've got a whiteboard to do some math. That's great. I've got chat, and I can even goose chat with some. Look at this. Look at that, huh? All right, look at that. I can even have chat go right behind me right there if I hit the chat button. Okay, so I've got chat going. So if you've got a question, chat it on up, and we're gonna see it there, and I'll be able to respond to it. So if you have a math question, if you have an SAT question and you want to ask it, there's a couple ways to do it. The easiest way to do it is just to go straight into YouTube chat and ask that question. You ask that question, it's going to pop up on the screen, and I'm going to see it. We're going to have a great time. The other thing, you're going to see a number scroll on the bottom of the screen. That's the Everyone Loves Math hotline. It's you're welcome to, if you're working on a problem and it's easier to like snap a picture, you could totally snap a picture and send it on over. Okay. Let's see. Other things we should talk about. You know, there are some other things we should talk about. So let's take care of one of those right now. Let's just get one of these out of here so that we know what the heck we're even doing here. So check this out. Look at this. This is my website. You can go to everyonelovesmath.com. Look at it. I did right now. I went there. And this is what I see. This is everyonelovesmath.com. So if you go there, you can click on tutoring. Check this out. I click the tutoring button, and I offer tutoring by the hour. I also offer tutoring bundles. I charge $50 an hour, but if you do a bundle, check this out. I'm gonna click on the bundles. Look at this. You do a 5-session bundle, you're gonna save 5% on top of my regular, or under my regular price. Not on top. That wouldn't be a saving. What are you talking about, Joey? So if you buy 5 sessions, you're gonna save 5%. If you buy 10 sessions, you're going to save 10%. And if you buy 20 sessions, then you're going to save 20% over my regular price. Now, all of that is to say, I also have a deal, and you're going to see it scroll down at the bottom there. Because this is August and we're all kind of getting back into the swing of things, I have a code in the store. So if you enter code Return of the Math for August, then you're going to get another 10% off of everything. I'm passing the savings on to you. It's amazing around here. It's amazing. How does he do it? Well, I just don't know. Okay, so that's that. This week, so I'm live every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 8 o'clock. Today, what we're going to talk about is unleashing the built-in calculator. So I literally just grabbed 20 questions that all can be answered with the built-in Desmos calculator on the SAT. Remember, the SAT is all digital now, so you get a free calculator that's like the best one. It's like the best one for the SAT. It's free, it's built in, and most people don't know how to use it. So, hey, we're going to use it together. So that's today. Tomorrow, same time, 8 o'clock Eastern, we're going to talk about quadratics. And I think I'm going to make that pretty much a calculator day again. So I'm going to show you how to use the built-in calculator to answer some quadratics questions more easily. On Wednesday, we'll look at geometry. And Thursday, we'll check out some word problems. That's how we're going to do things. And then if any questions show up in chat, then sure, we'll do them. We'll do them together. But that's what's up. If you want some tutoring, I've got availability on my schedule, on my calendar. You can go to everyonelovesmath.com. You can see my calendar. You can book sessions. Let's do it. Let's be mathematical friends. I'm into it. Okay. So things that we need to talk about. Let's talk about the things that need talking. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put up Desmos. Here we go. So the first thing you need to know is that if you go to desmos.com, you will be able to find the exact same calculator that that you will be able to use during the exam. All right, the exact same calculator. In fact, what I would recommend is Google you just type in Desmos SAT calculator, and you will even get to use the exact same calculator that that is on the exam. So know that is there for you. Okay. Ooh, it looks like I might need to share a link to this on Facebook. So let's check that out. All right, we're gonna make sure that we share on Facebook and make sure all the people know, right? All right, let's make sure the people know. Let's do it live, and then let's give the link youtube.com/@everyonelovesmath. All right. There we go. So now we're live. Now we're all the way there. Okay. So listen, y'all. This is the Desmos calculator. This calculator is amazing. I've been using this calculator for, I don't know, a decade or more than a decade, and I love it. The Desmos calculator, it's come a long way. But this is now the calculator that's built in, and let me just be clear. This calculator, you get to use a graphing calculator on every single math question on the SAT. That's really cool. All right, this calculator does all kinds of stuff. So let's do a quick tour, and you should totally go and give yourself this tour because listen, man, get yourself acquainted with Desmos. All right, so you can do all kinds of stuff. Like for example, what if I just wanted to graph the function y equals 3x plus 7? Look at that. It loves it, right? Let me make it a little thicker. There we go. So like that. Boom, in Desmos, I graph the line y equals 3x plus 7. Desmos knows I might want to know the x-intercept and the y-intercept. Like, Desmos will do some SAT for you. All right, there is all kinds of business that you can do using the built-in calculator on the SAT. And without further ado, I think we should just like get into it. So here's what we're gonna do. I've got my whiteboard up there. I've got Desmos down here. Hopefully, y'all have yourselves a big enough screen and you're not just watching this on an iPhone because then it's gonna be really tiny. But if you've got a big enough screen, then we are ready to rock. Let's just do it. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this, and I'm going to blow this up as big as I can. So here we go. And these are released SAT questions. We've got Desmos in front of us, and let's see what we could do with like very little work. So for example, speaking of very little work, look at this problem. If 4x minus 28 equals negative 24, what is the value of x minus 7? So, first thing I should tell you is, did you know that Desmos can just straight up solve that first equation? So people don't even try it. Look at this. What if we just type in 4x minus 28 equals negative 24? If I type that into Desmos, Desmos creates a vertical line. Look at this vertical line. This vertical line happens to be the vertical line where x equals 1. Do you notice that the x coordinate of every point on this line is 1 as I move this up and down? Hey y'all, the answer to this equation is x equals 1. Look at what it says though. It says, what is the value of x minus 7? Well, let's say I'm just super lazy. I don't even feel like doing it. If x is 1, then how about I just type 1 minus 7 into Desmos? The answer to this problem is negative 6. Boom. Desmos doing the SAT for us. Come on. Tell me you don't love that. You know you love that. Okay, let's go to the next question. Here we go. Oops. I don't want to be writing all over it, but I do want to make these big enough for y'all to see. So how about that? If x divided by 8 is 5, then what is the value of 8 over x? All right, so let's see. Can Desmos, what happens if we just put this equation into Desmos? I'm going to do x divided by 8, and I'm going to write equals 5. Okay, well, in Desmos I don't see anything, but wait. What if I zoom out? Look at this. Again, another vertical line. And look at this vertical line. This vertical line, you can tell, can't you, that no matter where I go on this vertical line, the x value is 40. So again, just by putting that equation in, we know that x is 40. And then it asks us, what is the value of 8 over x? Well, that's whatever 8 over 40 is. So I could just go to the next line, and I could just type in 8 over 40. The answer to this problem that we could totally type in to get this problem right on the SAT is just 0.2. I think we could have left the fraction 8 over 40 and we would technically get it right. But we can also put in 0.2. Look at us. Again, this is how powerful Desmos can be if you are studied up and ready for the SAT. All right. Which equation has the same solution as the given equation? Okay, well, as we've seen, Desmos can solve simple equations. So let's put in the simple equation 4x plus 6 equals 18, right? And I can hit the home button here, get back normal. It looks to me, if I go up and down here, that's the x-intercept, but look at this. It looks to me it's giving me the vertical line where x equals 3. So what I want to know is which of these other ones has would graph the same way? Well, let's try it. Let me go to the next line and just do 4x equals 108. All right, you're going to have to zoom out to find it. Look at this. They graph as two different lines. So letter A can't be it. No way. Let's try the second one. 4x equals 24. All right, well, that's closer, but they're not the same line, so it can't be B. Let's try C, 4x equals 12. Ooh, look at that. I can show and hide that graph. It's the same line. 4x equals 12 also has a solution of x equals 3. We've just done 3 problems with barely picking up a pencil, right? I mean, look at us. Look at us on the SAT with Desmos, your new best friend. All right, here we go. What is the solution to the given equation? Well, you can probably figure out what I'm going to do by now. I'm going to go back to Desmos and we can just straight up type in 4x plus 5 equals 165. All right, well, I don't see it. Oh, but that's because I needed to zoom out. Check it out, man. Look at this. This is the vertical line, and can you tell the x value? No matter where I slide it, the x value is 40. So in this problem, the answer is x equals 40. All right, now I know I've been cruising, so let me pause for just a minute and show you. We're getting problems right on the SAT just by knowing how the calculator works. Now, should you only do problems with the calculator? No, of course not. You should use all of the tools in your toolbox on the SAT. However, this will make you a more confident test taker, and this will take off some of the cognitive load when you're taking the test to make things easier on yourself. All right, let's keep going. All right, so now we're going to get in, and I made these random just because I wanted to show you all of these random things that Desmos can help us with. All right, so let me clear out this old equation. Here we go. For the linear function f, the table shows 3 values of x and their corresponding values of f of x. Which equation defines f of x? All right, so one thing you can do, and you can see it on my graph, you can hit there's a plus button on Desmos where you can actually just straight up enter a table. And so it's the plus button in the upper left. You should try this. And I'm going to just put in these points, 0, 29, 1, 32, and 2, 35. All right, so I'm already zoomed out so you can see those 3 points. There they are. Right, so those are the 3 points that, what do we want? We want one of those linear functions, a, b, c, or d, to go through those 3 points. All right, so I graph those 3 points using Desmos. And now I can straight up, Desmos knows what f of x means. So I can say f of x equals 3x plus 29. Does that... Oh, wait, look at us with choice A. Look at this. Does choice A go through all 3 points? Yes, it does. Ooh, look at you, choice A. You're looking good. Well, I got so excited. Let's make sure it's not the other ones, right? So what if I do f of x equals 29x plus 32? Ooh, that graph right there does... Here, let me hide the right answer. That graph does not go through those 3 points, right? Ooh, gross. All right, let's put in C. C says f of x equals 35x plus 29. Okay, this is like another almost vertical line. That doesn't go through those 3 points. No way. How about the last one? F of x equals 32x plus 35. Again, that's another like vertical line. The only line that goes through those 3 points was that first choice right here. Check it out, right? Sorry, I should have shown you. I graphed all 4 functions. The only one that worked was A. So in this problem, A has to be the right answer. Look at us. Look at us. Next up, speaking of function notation. How about this, right? A function is defined as f of x equals 4x minus 3. What is the value of f of 10? All right, so this part, man, I had a hard time believing this. So remember, Desmos understands function notation. So I'm going to type in this function, f of x equals 4x minus 3. I'm going to type it in. Let me go back to our normal screen here of negative 10 to positive 10. This is what it looks like. Now, if I want to find f of 10, I could find it by looking on this graph where the x value is 10, right? Where the input is 10. And we could do that. We could play around and look at it. But how about we just do this? We could straight up just ask Desmos, what is f of 10? Look at it. Desmos says f of 10 is 37. So once again, this is another question that is on the SAT, right? This is a released SAT question that we can answer with Desmos and without doing any work. Yo, man, I feel like big SAT is going to come in and shut us down. All right. I feel like I'm giving you too much. I'm giving you the answer. All right, here we go. This is a word problem. I guess I could have saved this till Thursday because we're talking word problems, but look at me. F of x equals 36x plus 100. I'm going to go to Desmos, and I'm going to type in f of x equals 36x plus 100. All right, so we get this function, right? There it is. And then it says, what is the total cost to lease when, and I'm going to highlight this part too, the monthly payment is $400. Well, did you notice that X is the monthly payment? So in this problem, if X is the monthly payment, and they want to know when the monthly payment is $400, then they want to know f of 400. What happens if you put 400 in for X? So again, we could try to find it on the graph, but I'm just going to go to the second line of Desmos, and I'm going to ask Desmos, what is f of 400? And look what it tells me. F of 400 is, oh, I better put 1,000. It was 1,000 in there as the y-intercept. There we go. So if I make it f of x equals 36x plus 1,000 and ask Desmos what's f of 400, notice it tells me 15,400. So again, magic of the calculator. Magic of the calculator. All right, let's keep going with this marathon. We're marathoning it right here. All right, so line R, fine, they gave it a name, right? Line R in the XY plane, that just means normal graph, right? Has a slope of 4 and passes through the point 0, 6. Which equation defines the line R? Okay, so slope we're going to have to look at kind of carefully, but one thing we need to know which of these lines passes through the point 0, 6. So again, using Desmos can graph a point. Sometimes, if you get yourself tied up, sometimes students get like confused as to what X is and what Y is. Desmos doesn't. So let's straight up tell Desmos, hey, graph the point 0, 6, and now let's graph letter A. So let's do y equals negative 6x plus 4. All right, check it out. They want, remember what they want, right? They want the slope to be 4, and they want the line to pass through the point 0, 6. Well, I don't even have to worry about the slope for this first one because it doesn't even pass through the point that it says. So A we can cross out. Let's try B. So B, I'm going to type in y equals 6x plus 4. Well, you can tell already this line does not go through the point they told us. So we can cross out B. Okie dokie. Let's try C, right? Y equals 4x minus 6. All right, well, this is way far away from that point, right? That line does not go through that point. So y'all, we graphed one point, right? We said whatever line this line R has to be, it has to go through that point 0, 6. And so far, A, B, and C, none of them do it. I wonder if the answer is D. So let's type it in. Look at that. Y equals 4x plus 6 was the only equation that went through that point 0, 6. There it is. You can see it. Okay, now, is this slope 4? Well, yes, you should also be able to tell that the slope is 4. Let me show you. I'm going to grab this graph. Let me grab it. And I'm going to put it over here, right? Oh, look at me. I can move this thing all kinds of places. All right. So why does it make sense that the slope of this line is 4? Well, if we zoom in super close right here, going from point to point on the graph, right? You just have to find 2 pretty points. Can you tell that this graph goes up 4 and over 1, right? Up 4 and over 1. So sure enough, the slope is 4. But who cares? This was the only line that actually went through the point that they said. So that's got to be the right answer. All right, next up. You can probably tell where we're going with this. It says f of 0 is 8. Do you think Desmos knows what f of 0 equals 8 means? Let's see. If I say f of 0 equals 8. Let's see. I don't see much. But what we need to know is if f of 0 is 8, that means 0, 8 is a point on the graph. All right, so now we can graph that. What else do we know? F of 1 is 12, so that means that the point 1, 12 is on the graph. So let me make sure we can see both of those. There we go, right? So now we've got 0, 8 and 1, 12. So we do need to know that that's what function notation means, right? So once we have that, let's go and straight up just put, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to put the multiple choice in, right? Starting with letter A. And let me see, do I need to make these equations bigger? Y'all let me know if I need to make these bigger. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to put letter A into Desmos and see what happens. So Desmos lets me straight up type in f of x equals 12x plus 8. All right, you can tell that only goes through the first point. It doesn't go through both. So I'm going to go back here. A can't be the right answer. All right, let's go to B. B is f of x equals 4x. So what if I just put in 4x? Well, 4x, look at that. F of x equals 4x. That doesn't go through either of the points. So we can cross out B. Sorry, B. All right, next up, 4x plus 12. All right, 4x plus 12, we're in a little Goldilocks and the Three Bears situation. Because part of B was too low, C is too high. Can't be it. So we're in this position where we graphed points. We're testing these lines, and neither A, B, nor C work. Let's try D, 4x plus 8. Boom. Take a look. All right, let me activate and deactivate that line. Look at that. D is the only one of those 4 equations that passes through both of those points. So D is our answer. Remember, these are SAT questions, y'all. SAT questions. We can do this. Here we go. The function h of x is defined with some formula. Okay, well, let's go to Desmos and type in h of x equals, and let's type 4x plus 28. All right, so that's a little bit up there, right? I can zoom out a little and see it. There we go. Now let's see what it says. The graph of y equals h of x has an x-intercept at a, 0 and a y-intercept at b, 0. All right, I'm going to write this down just so we see it. So it has we need the x-intercept and the y-intercept. And it's reminding us of something. The x-intercept is always where the y equals 0. And the y-intercept is always where the x equals 0. Now, if we were good boys and girls, we could find the x-intercept and the y-intercept by, solving, putting 0 in for stuff. Or I could just click a button. Look at this. The y-intercept is 28. Let's maybe not spend time doing that. Can I find the x-intercept? You bet. Right there. You see it? The x-intercept is -7. So notice what they ask us for. They ask us for, I'll highlight it in red here, the value of a plus b. So I'm just going to go to the second line in Desmos, because maybe I'm feeling extra lazy, and I'm just going to type in -7 plus 28. Wouldn't that be a plus b? And look at it, we get 21. Y'all, once again, how many of these are we going to do with almost no work? If you're studied up and you know how this calculator can help you, then you could really unlock something on this test. All right, here we go. Another word problem, so a little preview of what we're going to look at on Thursday. The function f of x. All right, well, they gave us the function. Let's type it into Desmos. The function f of x equals 14 plus 4x. There we go. This function represents the total cost in dollars of attending an arcade game when X games are played. How many games can be played for a total cost of $58? Okay, so in this problem, what we need to know is that X here represents the number of games, and then the output f of x represents the cost in dollars, right? So I'm going to write that. This is the cost in dollars. Okay, so they don't want us to do f of 58. Let me just put that in there. If we were going to find f of 58, f of 58 would be the cost of playing 58 games. We don't want that. We want to know how many games can we play for it to cost $58. So, yes, Desmos can help you. Desmos can help you in a couple of ways. One way, now since we already have that function graphed, is we could just type in the function y equals 58 on the second line. So take a look at this. I'm zooming out so you can see it. Look at this up here. This is the horizontal line where the cost is $58. Right? Do you notice that the y is always 58? All right. We can find the answer by clicking a button. We want to know if the purple line represents playing these arcade games and this horizontal line represents the cost being 58, we want to know where they intersect. They intersect where x is 11. 11 games cost $58. SAT, and Desmos is your friend. Okay, let's see. This one, the text is a little small. Let me get this a little bigger for you. Here we go. Boop, boop, boop. All right, y'all. Here they give us another function formula. So thank you, SAT. Let's just type this in. 1/10 x minus 2. So I'm going to put this back to normal. So there is the graph. The thing to keep in mind is when you're typing into Desmos, make sure it looks exactly the way that you want it. So like when we're talking about 1/10 x, the x is not in the denominator. So make sure that when you put it into Desmos, the x is not in the denominator. Okay, so what does it ask? It says, what is the y-intercept of this graph? So there are a few ways to find the y-intercept, but none easier than just clicking, right? Look at this. Desmos knows that we might be interested in the y-intercept. So Desmos will always make the y-intercept clickable. And when we click it, we get the point 0, 2. The answer to this problem is 0, 2. Alrighty then, we're keeping and moving. All right, here's another one, function notation. The function f of x is defined to be 7x plus 2. Then it says, what is f of x when x is 4? All you have to do is type in f of 4. I want you to understand that if you are studied up on the SAT, this question is a 10-second question. It's 10 seconds because if you're studied up, then you know that Desmos is your friend. You know that Desmos can handle function notation, and that that's what this problem is testing. All right, if you're looking for somebody to be in your corner, I can be that dude. Head to everyonelovesmath.com, sign up for some tutoring. Let's go. Let's do it. Okay, similar question. What is the y-coordinate of the y-intercept of this thing? So if we were going to be a good boy, good girl, we would have to do some work in order to find the y-intercept. Certainly, we'd have to do some work in order to graph this thing. But I've got a feeling one thing that's cool about Desmos that the TIs don't do is I think Desmos is going to be able to like straight up graph this. So let's see what happens if we do. 3x over 7 equals, and I'm going to be really careful here, right? I'm going to type this in and make sure that I type it in right, because if Desmos is going to do all the work, then oh my goodness, I better type it in right. Okay, so I just typed it in and it disappeared. I'm guessing I need to zoom out. Oh, there it is. Right? If I zoom out enough, I'll see it. Okay, so I typed it in. I double checked that I typed it in right, and it asked me for the y-intercept. I can just click on it. Look at that. The y-intercept is approximately 37.8. It might even be exactly 37.8. So go ahead and put 37.8 in for your answer. That's it. Look at this. Look how nice things can be if you're studied up. Yo, it pays to study. All right. I don't even know how many we've done. Where are we? We're on question 16. I think I only made like 20 questions. So this one, what is an equation of the graph shown? So this one is just matching. They show us a graph. And here, let me type in letter A. I'm going to type in y equals negative 2x minus 8. All right, let's go back normal. Hey, these look pretty good. Let's see. What do we got? This one has an x-intercept at negative 4. This one doesn't, right? This one has an x-intercept at negative 8. So I know that choice A can't be it, right? Not looking good. Boop, 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 boop. All right, let's try B. So B was just y equals x minus 8. Oh, that looks nothing like it, right? That's pointed in the wrong direction, so it can't be B either. Let's try 6. Negative x minus 8, or the opposite of x minus 8. This one's looking pretty good, right? Let's see. The x-intercept is at negative 8, and that's the same as the x-intercept here. Let's see. The y-intercept here is negative 8, and that's the same as the y-intercept here. C's looking pretty good, man. C's the right answer. And if you want to be sure, try D, right? Let's look. If I put in 2x minus 8, doesn't look anything like it. In this problem, the correct answer is C. All right, here we go. Again, different problem, but same idea. Here they give us h of 0 is 41. So that's saying 0, 41 is on this graph. H of 1 is 40. So 1, 40 must be on the graph. And I'm going to click the button to show the label. All right, if I zoom out enough, I'm going to have to zoom out a bit to see it. There it is, right? There are those 2 points, 0, 41 and 1, 40. I want to go through those 2 points. So, let's try A. So A says, h of x equals the opposite of x, or negative x, plus 41. Oh, look at us. Look at that line. Look at that. Here, let's zoom in on those. This was choice A. Does choice A go through both of those points? You bet. Choice A is the right answer. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Get yourself studied up. Come on over. Everyonelovesmath.com. Come on over. I got you. All right. What is the equation of the line? Oh, let's clear out this old stuff. Parallel and perpendicular stuff. Can Desmos do it? You better believe it. What is the equation line that passes through the point 0, 5 and is parallel to the graph of y equals 7x plus 4? All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to ask Desmos to graph the point 0, 5, and I like to click that label just so I can be looking right at that point. There it is. What's up, Desmos? 0, 5. Okay, now let's put in the line that we want to be parallel to, right? So we're going to have to keep this in our brain. Ooh, those are close. All right, so let me zoom in so we can see it. Okay, so we want to go through that point, right? We want to go through 0, 5, but we want to be parallel to the purple line. Okay, so let's try letter A. Y equals 5x. All right, well, that doesn't go through the point, and it doesn't look perpendicular. So I'm going to go ahead and say that A, no bueno. So you go. All right, let's try 7x plus 5. That's B. Y equals 7x plus 5. Oh, ho, ho! Ho, ho! I'm going to show it and hide it. Look at that. Y equals 7x plus 5. I can zoom in here. Does that go through that point? You bet. And that also looks pretty darn parallel to me. I'm feeling pretty parallel. B is the right answer to this problem. Again, 100% in Desmos. And if you really want the confidence that B is the right answer, let's just confirm that it ain't C and it ain't D, right? So C is Y equals 7x. Again, those aren't parallel, and it doesn't go through that point. And then D is 5x plus 7, and that's a disaster, right? Not parallel, not through the point. So get rid of all those. The only one that works is B, and again, we're using Desmos to do our SATs. How about it? Okay, same kind of question, right? Let's read this one. Line T in the XY plane has a slope of negative 1/3 and passes through the point 9, 10. Which equation defines line T? Okay, so we want it to go through the point 9, 10. So let's get that point going. 9, 10, I got it labeled, and I'm going to zoom out so we can see it. Right, where is it? There it is, 9, 10. All right, we want the slope to be negative 1/3, so I'm thinking like, okay, I know what a negative slope means. It's going to be going like downhill. All right, so let's graph the first one. Y equals 13x minus 1/3. All right, well, that's about as wrong as you could get, right? This is not going downhill, so it doesn't have a negative slope, and it doesn't go through the point. So A, bye-bye. All right, let's try B. So 9x plus 10. How about 9x plus 10? Well, that is also a positive slope, and it doesn't go through the point. So B can't be the right answer. You see where I'm going with this? All right, let's try C. So C says negative x over 3. All right, that's downhill, plus 10. All right, well, at least now we've got the downhill, but negative x over 3 plus 10 does not go through that line. Goodbye. So once again, I think it's down to D. Negative x over 3 plus 13. Let's look. Dude, look at that. Right? Boom, boom. So of the 4 lines, this was the only one that was downhill. And, I mean, there were 2 that were downhill. This is the only one that was downhill and went through that point. We didn't even have to look carefully to see that this graph actually does go down 1 over 3. It really does have a slope of negative 3. We didn't even have to look that carefully because Desmos helped us out. All right. Coming to the end, I think we've got... Oh, I wanted to show a system, because do you think Desmos can do systems of equations? You bet. The solution to the given system of equations is x comma y. What is the value of x minus y? So let me make this bigger so you can see it. All right, so there we go. How about this? We're going to type in y equals 4x plus 1. There we go. And 4y equals 15x minus 8. All right, so we type those in. This is what these 2 graphs look like. And you might look, I mean, when we first graph it, you might be like, uh-oh, are those parallel? And no, if you zoom out, you'll notice they do intersect. They intersect somewhere down here, and you can just kind of click in blind. Desmos knows. Listen, man, Desmos knows you're looking for an intersection. And so this right here, I can find it right there. That is the intersection of these 2 lines. Negative 12, comma, negative 47. That is the point that makes both of these equations true. Notice we didn't have to use any algebra to find it. Okay, the only place we got to make sure we don't get tricked, they're asking us for x minus y. So how about we do negative 12 minus negative 47, right? Aren't those, let's double check, right? Follow the instructions, x minus y. Yeah, it's a lot of negatives, but you've got a free awesome calculator right there. Answer's 35. Okay, last one. This will be our last one of the night. So this is another system of equations, right? Normally, to solve this system of equation, you would use the elimination method, or you would use substitution, or something like that. Not here. We got Desmos. So we're going to type in 6x plus 7y equals 28. And we're going to type in 2x plus 2y equals 10. All right. Ooh, I don't see nothing. That's because I need to get back to normal. Oh, there are those lines. Now check this out. Remember, they're asking us for the solution to the system of equations. The solution to a system is just where the two lines intersect, and Desmos can find it for us. So these two lines intersect at the point 7, negative 2. From here, we just need to follow instructions. They're asking us, what is the value of y? The value of y is negative 2. Here's what I hope you know, and I'm just going to skip to that last question. Here's what I hope you've seen. Desmos is super powerful, right? This calculator that's built in now to the SAT, and you can use on every single problem, is better used to do some serious math than just checking that you've multiplied correctly. Desmos can unlock the ability for you to get those higher scores on the SAT and to do it without breaking a sweat. If you want more help, head on over to everyonelovesmath.com, sign up for some tutoring. I've got you. All right, let's do it. Let's have a good time. I'm going to end our stream for today, but I will see you 8 o'clock tomorrow, and we'll talk about quadratics. All right, y'all, stay classy.